Welcome back to Indiana News Desk. Two men in Gary who collectively served more than 40 years in jail for a crime they didn't commit are free. The Wrongful Conviction Clinic at IUPUI is being credited for helping clear the two men. WTIU's Sophia Salabi has their story.
The system is broke. The system is really messed up when they could take a man, not just one, but take two men and convict them, Glenn and Pinkins, of raping a woman they never even met. You know, that's scary. That's really scary.
Roosevelt Glenn and his coworker Daryl Pinkins were arrested in 1989 for the rape and robbery of a woman in northwest Indiana. The two have always maintained their innocence. Glenn's first trial ended in a hung jury, and in his second trial, Glenn was convicted of one count of rape and sentenced to 36 years.
It was devastating to lose that case. I've tried hundreds of cases in my career as a prosecutor. That was one of the most difficult cases to lose.
Pinkins was also found guilty of one count each of rape, deviant conduct, and robbery and sentenced to 65 years. The Wrongful Conviction Clinic at IUPUI takes cases like Pinkins and Glenn's with the hope to exonerate people who are found guilty of crimes they didn't commit.
You know, wrongful conviction work is post-conviction work. You're going to court after conviction and sentencing and direct appeal and trying to convince a judge or a prosecutor that the conviction should be vacated based on new science.
Glenn had been in jail for nearly a decade when he met Watson for the first time.
She said, "You don't have to convince me of your innocence. I wouldn't be here if I thought you were guilty." And so much relief came. Somebody other than my family saw my innocence, and I didn't say nothing to her.
For 10 years, Glenn worked with the Wrongful Conviction Clinic to file appeals, but each was denied. And these losses didn't just hurt Glenn, it was a burden on his whole family.
That's one of the huge downsides to wrongful convictions. It's not just that you have one innocent person in prison, you have their whole family. Everyone that loves them is living with that reality.
In 2009, Glenn was released after serving his full sentence, and even though he was no longer in jail, the Wrongful Conviction Clinic still continued working on his case.
One of the things I say to students is I lost this case, depending on what you count, 6 to 8 times before I won it. And so think how many times I traveled to the prison, often with students, and sat there and said to these men, "No, the court rejected that. No, the next court rejected that. No, the next court did."
His conviction also prevented him from finding steady employment, and it was by chance he ran into his former attorney, now mayor of Gary, Karen Freeman Wilson. The two talked, and Wilson helped Glenn get a job working for the City of Gary Public Works Department.
I was always convinced that he was innocent, and I always told him, or his family at least, that anything I could do to help him once he got out, I would.
Watson and her team finally found the breakthrough they needed 2 years ago. They accurately identified the genetic makeup of the DNA samples used in the trial. This DNA did not belong to Glenn or Pinkins. The evidence confirmed what the two men had maintained for more than 25 years. They were not guilty.
This is like the best time of this whole situation because I knew it. I never gave up hope. Never give up hope, no matter what you're going through. Hold on to your hope.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Sophia Salabi.
Pinkins' record is clear, but Glenn is still in limbo. The state has moved to vacate Glenn's case. Watson is still waiting to receive the official court order that will remove the conviction from his record. Now, joining us now is Sophia Salabi. What's the difference between these two men's cases?
So Pinkins received a longer sentence and was actually still in jail when they got this new evidence, so he was able to leave jail as a free man. For Glenn, unfortunately, he was released in jail in 2009 after serving his full sentence, but he left as a convicted sex offender, and they're still waiting to receive that official court order to get that off his record.
And any sense on how long he'll be waiting?
We really don't know, actually. It could be weeks, it could be months. We're just waiting on a judge.
And what are Glenn and Pinkins doing now?
Glenn is still working at the City of Gary Public Works Department, and he really just plans to retire and relax after all of this. Pinkins just got out of jail. He's trying to adjust to life outside prison. He's searching for a job, working with the local Veterans Association, spending time with his family.
And did they ever, I mean, the big question, right? Did they ever find the men who committed the crime?
No, actually. All we know is that 3 of the men who committed the crime were brothers or first cousins, and then there were 2 other men involved. So for now, it's unsolved.
All right, thank you very much, Sophia.
Thank you.